Alright, so the first thing is, let's say I want to key in information for December. Okay, so I'll fill in the data. I just copy the data down instead of keying in. And this, the one that is in bold, alright, is actually formula generated. So I'll copy the formula downwards. Alright, and since I'm doing it for December, just type in 1 December 09. And this formula will automatically change it to 31st December by itself. So we try to minimize the data entry as well to make sure that everything gets done correctly. Alright, then of course, let's key in the name. Okay, assuming that I'm keying in the data. Okay, this person starts employment on, in fact all of them, almost all of them starts on 1st of October. Now actually this one is also a formula. Okay, let me bold it. And all you have to do is, you can just copy the formula down. So once you key in, you'll see that this will show up as E for an existing employee. Instead of you actually tracking whether it's a new employee or existing employee, it's actually flagged out by itself. In here, key in the date of birth. Now this is an unknown formula which will calculate age by itself. Now when you calculate age by itself, you're not using 365 days divided by, you're not using the number of days divided by 365 days. That will only give you a very close number, but it's not good enough to do CPF calculation, because those people who are having their birthday on the end of the month or beginning of the month, you would have to double check if you use 365 days, if you notice that, because it may cross over earlier or too late. Alright, and here, okay, it's a drop down. The reason why we keep a drop down here is to calculate the community fund, CDAC, MPMF, SINDA, ECF. Okay, so here we prevent we actually minimize the data entry error because it's a drop down. You will not go wrong by somebody keying Chinese with ending with a S, double S. Alright, so just key in Chinese. Okay, just fill in the information as is. Okay, by keying in here the nationality code, the main one that we are looking at will be SG, because SG is required to do the CPF calculation. And when you copy downwards, okay, it will pop out SG. Now let's say this happens to be a Malaysian. Okay, you will flag out immediately foreigner 2. Alright, and if you key in a PR date, as in when the person has their PR, if you put 1st November 08, it will also automatically, okay, flag out this person as in the first year of PR. So you don't need to worry about whether this person is on the first year, second year, or third year of PR. So here, immediately, you can just copy down the formula and you'll tell me that it's CDAC. Okay? So let me change this to SG again. Now here, the pay, all you need to key in is the amount, the gross pay. Alright, and as you go over, copy the formula down. Okay, let me key in. Here is also computed with a formula. And this formula, what it does is, it will calculate the person's pay based on a 5 days working week. So if it's a new employee and it starts on 15 December, they will be able to calculate, okay, from 15 December to 31st December without including the Saturday and Sunday. Okay, let me explain this further later. Okay, now to use this formula, also need to trigger off and install something, and that installation doesn't come from anybody and it's free. It actually comes with Microsoft Excel. That is something that a lot of people do not know, and we're going to share with you where to get those advanced formula that will work to your advantage. Alright? Then commission and allowance, you just key in. Okay, we have provided a few columns, and what is powerful here is you can insert columns anytime. If you have additional item customized to your company's payroll component, where some have incentives, some of you have like working on a holiday, you do give them some incentive as well, like $20 for some of the manufacturing companies. So these are the things you can actually customize. Unlike a software where everything has to go through the vendor, this one you can actually create on your own. Especially here we have a group of you who are advanced users. Definitely inserting rows is not a big issue for you guys. Alright. So CPI payable, we have input in some formulas, but it can be changed anytime. But basically what we do is we just add in the total plus adjustment and minus the deduction, and we get CPF payable salary. Now in here, all you have to do is this whole part, you can just copy the formula because it's all bold and paste it in, and the formula will calculate by itself immediately. Okay, then once you have done this, you have a monthly summary which will show you how much is the amount you pay in each category. Now if you know pivot table, for some of you guys, okay, you can actually do a report like this. Alright, and what is interesting here on a pivot table basis is if your boss just want to see the name, okay, just pull up the information and you get the full pay by name. If your boss just want to see the details by department, just pull it up and you can see all the overall by department using pivot table. And this pivot table draws the information from the monthly details that you key in. So you only have almost like one point of entry, and it picks up all the information. Alright. When it comes to employer records, the only thing you need to key in here is your company code. Okay, for CPS submission, that's the CSN number, and also the date of the submission, from which date, and this is auto calculated. And you'll be able to prepare this report. Don't worry about the hex NA, I'll explain later on. Okay, this is meant to prepare the data for e-submission. Alright, so once you key in this, the information below will auto refresh by itself. I'll give you a full scale view of when you key in all the December numbers, what will happen. Alright, so once this is keyed in with the code, we'll generate the e-submission file accordingly. We did a test on our own payroll, it works and it gets submitted. Okay, so it's try and tested. Okay, because we know that actually if you go and buy a software off the shelf, at least it's $2,000. But here, we're going to give you a very minimal sum for those who have not attended the talk before. But for you, it's free. But we want to make sure that you get the full suite of it with the support from all the exchange. Alright? And the other good thing about this is there is unlimited number of employees you can add in. Now how do we do the CPF table? I'll come into details. In fact, the last thing is if you need to print a pay slip for your staff. Okay? Just need to change the date to 31st December 09. Okay, there's no we can only key in one staff, so you just change one and they will populate the details, and this will be the payslip. Alright, now let me come, any questions so far on the use of the payroll software? Yes?